A laugh lasts 3 seconds too long. That's all it takes. Your partner is talking to someone else at a party, and nothing about the scene is unusual. But something in your chest tightens anyway. A private, uncomfortable heat rises before you've even decided to feel it. You tell yourself it's nothing, and yet your eyes keep returning to that corner of the room. This feeling, small, almost embarrassing when you try to explain it out loud, behaves like an emergency. Not a mood, an alarm. Why would a glance, a laugh, a few extra seconds of someone else's attention feel like danger? To understand that, we have to leave this room. We have to go back to a much older one, a circle of firelight, and the dark pressing in around it. We can imagine a small group of people moving through difficult, unpredictable land. No stored food waiting in a pantry, no neighbors a phone call away. Just each other. In many small, interdependent groups like this, a partner was not simply a companion. A partner was infrastructure. The person who helped carry food back from a hunt. The person who kept watch while you slept. The person whose presence quietly meant you were less likely to go hungry, less likely to be caught alone when something went wrong. Now picture someone else moving closer to that partner, standing nearer at the fire, talking a little too easily, a little too long. For people living in these conditions, that shift was not only social, it could be read as the early sign of something breaking, a bond weakening, a source of protection quietly slipping towards someone else. Losing that bond didn't just mean heartbreak, it could mean losing a place at the fire itself. This is the piece that seems to have stayed with us. Psychologists describe jealousy as a mechanism that links our attachment to another person with our system for detecting threats. In simple terms, the same part of you that wants closeness is wired to a kind of internal alarm, one built to notice anything that might loosen that closeness. Research suggests that humans also carry comparison systems, quiet, constant tracking of where we stand next to others in status and belonging. Under ordinary conditions, this tracking runs in the background, almost unnoticed. But when it detects a possible shift, someone moving in, attention drifting away, it can pull that quiet tracking into the foreground almost instantly. A glance becomes evidence. A laugh becomes a signal. A promotion given to someone else becomes proof of something larger than it actually is. This may help explain why jealousy rarely feels proportional. It isn't answering the small event in front of you, it's answering an old question. Am I still safe here, or is my place being taken? That question once could decide whether you ate that week. Which is why today, the feeling can arrive so far out of scale with what actually happened. You open your phone and see that someone else's photo received more attention than yours. For a moment, it doesn't feel like a number. It feels like being quietly moved down a list you didn't know existed. You glance at your partner's phone, not out of malice, but because some part of you needs to check the perimeter and find a conversation with someone new. The chest tightens the same way it might have tightened at that fire, centuries of pattern folding into a single instant. At work, someone else receives the praise you were hoping for. It isn't only disappointment. There's an old undertone beneath it, a sense that your position in the group has shifted, even if nothing was actually said. And sometimes it's subtler still. A friend group making plans without you, a small shift in who is invited where. Nothing is said aloud, but something in you notices, the way it might have once noticed who sat closest to the fire and who sat at its edge. In each of these moments, the mind is not only reacting to what is happening on the surface, it seems to be reacting to an older signal it believes the moment might contain. A signal about closeness, standing, and whether your place beside someone else is secure. That doesn't make the pain imaginary. It makes it inherited. Jealousy is not proof that something is wrong with you. It may be closer to proof that, for a long stretch of human history, attention and closeness were tied directly to survival, and that link never fully dissolved. The feeling is real. but it may not be measuring what it thinks it's measuring. A laugh across a room is not the same as losing your place at the fire. A missed promotion is not the same as being left outside the circle. The alarm still remembers the old world. You are living in a different one. And somewhere, if you listen closely enough beneath the noise of the alarm, there is still a fire. Old, patient, and quietly reminding you that the greatest fear was never the laugh or the glance or the promotion. It was the thought of being replaced and left quietly outside the light.